Up, guys? Got a very cool Kraken build to show off. So this video might be a little bit longer. Just want to kind of go over a little bit about what we're doing with this. So I tried to get in titanium, and it's been a little more difficult than it should be. But we have been able to figure out how to laser steel and give us a nice reflective property. So the trouble that we have with using steel is it warps a little bit. So whenever we laser out these, okay, Google, volume down. Whenever we laser out these pip holes around here, you see the little white borders around there where it looks like I got loom on them, like where I over loomed it, and then you got like these little half circles. That's actually just from the lasering on there. And then if you get in real close with the dial, around some of those edges, you can see they get purple. And that's from that as well. And then you also, like, see this, what looks like a little tick mark right here? It's actually where the dial itself, the actual metal, because all this is surface. If like you'd have this dial in your hand, it'll feel completely smooth. It's not lasered down into it. So any imperfection that you have with the dial material itself, like the little tick mark there, little tick mark there, little line right there, little line right there, all that stuff comes through. When you get it in the reflective, you don't really see it. But when it's straight on, you can see what, like, oh yeah, looks like a little piece of debris, little piece of debris. Not debris. Like that on there, looks like debris. Not debris. Obviously, if there's something on the glass, it's different. But when you get it in the light, you can see that's that line. What makes it real cool with that line is it actually has some like coloration to it, where the lasering got down into the line, so it made the line kind of a color too. But this is a lasered Kraken that's done in layers, so that the intensity of the laser will do the Kraken in one, the background in a different color, and then we did these indicators all the way around there, and that also adjusted that coloration in there. So you get some nice orange in there, you get some nice brown. Well, I guess it kind of moves into a brown. I guess it's more of a burnt orange, right? Your pinks, your blues, your purples. They also did that with an insert. So Kraken there at the top. Straight on, you pick up that it's a color, but it's only when you kind of bounce it in the light that you can kind of see that. But it comes with some little imperfections. And I don't know if there's going to be a way to get around that. So we sand the dials ahead of time to try and work all that stuff out, but you can't quite get everything out. So I don't know. It's going to be a little bit of a learning experience. So here is learning experience number 1. And I thought it came out pretty awesome. So I did a set of silver hands on this. I did this in the brushed 350 case. Kraken engraved crown. So my buddy Mike sent me this band probably 2.5, 3 years ago and said, I don't know if you can use this, but here's this band. He just sent me the 2 pieces, right? And I was like, I'm going to keep that for myself. This thing's freaking awesome. And to date, I haven't done anything with it, and I thought, it's brushed. It goes well with it. It's the only, like, if you can find this band, tell me. It is thick. I love it. It's a brush band. If you can find this, let me know. I would like to use this a little bit more often. Has good decent little gap here. The only problem that I had with this, and I didn't realize it until the very end, and I had to use a lot of Dremel tools, is I had to polish this up, but I had to open this up much further, because whatever the spring bars are that came with this, Must have had the knob real close to the end, not down in here, because these were cut to right here, so you couldn't even use this. And the other end's completely closed, so you couldn't use regular spring bars. You had to use ones like these. So I'd use a Dremel, cut this open, use some kind of a it was kind of conical shaped to kind of get in there and grind that out and open it up. So I used essentially like a grinder wheel one to kind of line it down further, and then I had to polish it up to make sure there was no nothing sticking out, nothing that would cut you, and then open that up a little bit so that this would work. And that works great. But that's the only problem with this. I'm assuming if we'd find one of these, it would come with spring bars that would work, but you couldn't use regular ones. You had to use ones like these, and I was like, I want to use this, so I'm going to have this issue any day, so let's figure it out. So got those cut out. This has one of my collar shifting sapphire large window exhibition case backs with a signed custom rotor in there. This goes from you were getting that color there, but it's more of a pink to green. But you're obviously going to get whatever reflects. That pink is reflecting on the blue and kind of giving you a purple, since I'm still wearing this. But you can kind of see the green there, you can kind of see the pink, right? So large window exhibition case back has a little bit of height to it, but this is a little bit bigger of a beast. Kraken engraved clasp, silver handset, shark tooth bezel with a lasered bezel insert. Did it the same style, same way, and that is the build. I think it came out pretty freaking awesome. So if it's going to you, congrats. I don't remember what Kraken number this would be. Maybe 205. Sometimes I don't know that until I start making the, getting everything ready for the build cards and putting this on YouTube. Then I kind of look at the last one that I've done and know it, but somewhere around there, 205, 204, 205, 206, something in there. But that's this build. Bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. It's not on there terribly tight. It has a decent movement to it, but should stay unless you want to move it yourself. It doesn't come all the way out to the end. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, wear it, put it in a watch winder, but if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you back the crown off the threads till you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind, and a wind is a turn that way. Turning it back towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, you'll keep time throughout the day. And if you do this for something closer to 20 seconds, you're going to max out that 31 plus hour power reserve on it. It does not have a limit to it, so you can wind it all day if you want. When you're happy with your winding, pull it to the one and only click. You can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying on it, setting it, you are not putting any adverse pressure into the movement. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 2:04 p.m.
2:04 p.m. Which is about right there. You push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. You really get a good look at it whenever it hits that light. Straight on, you can see there's coloration there. You can kind of see the imperfections in the dial a little bit, but once you kick it over, that acrylic kind of helps kind of give some of that layering there. It's not always great for clarity, with an acrylic glass, but it does kind of give it some of those cool lines in there. So that's the build. If it's going to you, thank you so much for the support. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. Entirely up to you whether you wear them or not, but they go with it nicely. So come in a special edition silver Kraken box. It'll come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts. So this watch as a whole, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. It will come with some fine scratch remover. It's for that acrylic glass. You can scratch it, but if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it. Buff it out using your included microfiber. If you get a scratch in it, if it's going up and down, go left and right. Kind of fill that scratch, haze it, buff it out. And if you don't get it, wait a little bit, let that solidify, come back to it, and do it again. And kind of layer it up. But that's if you kind of gouge it deep. If you ever gouge it like super hard, you might have to send it to me and pay me to throw a new piece of glass in there. So it hasn't happened too many times. But we can do that if that happens. So that's the build. Like I said, this is a lasered steel dial to kind of look like titanium. And it's just that intensity of the heat that gave it the different color shifts. So I'm going to try and make more of these. I do have a couple more of them that have more lines and more like scratches and stuff in them, but it's not in the lasering, it's in the dial itself, where they were like even deeper in there that, you know, with what we were using, we weren't getting it to knock out. I mean, we're talking tiny discs. Like these are, you know, quarter sized. So there's not a lot you can do to grab onto them and hold them really, really steady and put really aggressive sandpaper and stuff to them, or mill them even. You know, there's not a lot of option for that. So I've got a few others I'm going to be working on that have like some definite kind of cool lines in them. I thought they were kind of cool, but we'll see what you guys think whenever I build them and put them together, or what I think when I put them together, if it's worthwhile to keep them. But these take like an hour and a half to laser, so these cost a lot more. So I want to try and salvage them where I can, because I'm normally paying around $1 a minute on that kind of stuff. So I want to try and salvage what I can, if those dials can work for me. But there you go. Like I said, long video. Appreciate you guys for hanging out and watching. If you want me to be able to do something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.